Welcome back. It's Friday, February 24th in the NBA. My three favorite picks are on the way. Today we have a special guest, and I think you guys know who it is. It's the Broom. A 4-0 sweep yesterday. We will take that. LeBron, Jokic, Bane, all get it done. The one that was questionable was Jordan Clarkson. He lands on 24 on the dot. We took his under. Shouldn't have even been close. Only had 19 at the end of the fourth quarter, but they go into overtime. He scores 5 points there. Either way, a great start to the second half of the NBA season. Hopefully you guys tailed and our No House Advantage, our new sponsor. Well, the parlay we did there smacked as well. $15 to $165. We will take it. Let's keep rolling today. Let's turn that into a hot streak. If you are new, go down below, hit that subscribe button, drop a like too so you don't miss out on any of the videos we do every single morning. And MLB is on the way, almost a month away. I think 35 days to be exact. I've talked about this a couple times. Of course, we have a Bet at 365 offer. If you don't know what Bet 365, it's a great sports book available in Virginia, Ohio, New Jersey, and Colorado. If you sign up at the top link in the description, you deposit $10, and all you have to do is bet $1 on the money line of any NBA game tonight. Regardless of outcome, you'll receive $200 in bet credits to use. A lot of you guys have already taken advantage of the Bet 365 offer, but if you want to, if you're new, go down below. You can obviously all the details are down below in the description, but just sign up using our link, deposit $10, and bet on a money line in the NBA. Like I said, available in just Virginia, Ohio, New Jersey, and Colorado. Look, let's keep this momentum going. We got 3 plays today. We're going to start with this guy who's probably a popular play. It's Mr. Mikal Bridges of the Brooklyn Nets, over 19.5 points. Now, Mikal has been pretty good. Obviously, change of scenery as he moved from Phoenix to Brooklyn with obviously that big trade for Kevin Durant. And I would play this at 20.5. And if you're like, it's a little bit too juiced for me, take his PRA line, take his points plus rebounds line. I really don't mind that either. I think he's been doing a good job rebounding the ball, but also we're going to have to need him to score some points. I think he can easily get us 20 points, hopefully 25 today to cash all of the lines. Now, let's talk about this new look Nets team, because obviously Kyrie Irving gone, Kevin Durant gone, and Ben Simmons, he's more or less gone. He might even be benched tonight. He might even play. But let's talk about this team and who is surrounding Bridges. He's going to be surrounded by Claxton and Dorian Finney-Smith, two guys that Claxton doesn't shoot jump shots. Dorian Finney-Smith, kind of a guy that prides himself being on 3-and-D guy, but doesn't really shoot a lot. Then Dinwiddie and Cam Johnson are the other guys in the starting lineup. Now, Cam Johnson, not really a great guy that's going to take people off the dribble, more of a catch and shoot or catch and attack to the rim kind of guy. And then Dinwiddie, we know from experience, not a guy that you can count on to shoot every single night. The one time we took us over, he shot a big 4 times. Naturally, probably shoot 20 times tonight. But either way, Mikal, they obviously coveted him. They traded away Kevin Durant to get him and some other pieces, but they obviously wanted him. He's kind of been unleashed on this offense. He scored a career high in his last game, scoring 45 points, but he's no longer in the Devin Booker shadow. He no longer has to guard the number one option of the other team every single night like he used to with the Phoenix Suns. And he's been this number one option on this offense who desperately needs some scoring here. And you look at 3 games with the Brooklyn Nets, he scored 23, 7, and 45 points. Now the 7 points, you're like, don't love that, but that was a game against the Knicks, very good defensive team, and it was a game he only played 29 minutes. Now, Jacques Vaughn, who just got an extension, props to him. Nets head coach, he's obviously talked a little bit about over the All-Star break that they want to shorten their rotation. This is the Nets team, very deep. They got like 10 guys that they could play every single night, and they have been playing them. But let's say they do shorten their rotation. Maybe Cam Thomas, who dropped 40 points 3 consecutive games, maybe he gets benched, which would be crazy, but hey, it's the NBA, anything can happen. And while I don't trust coach speak, I think they could shorten this rotation because Mikal Bridges is one of the best players that they have, obviously one of the better players in the NBA, and I think they're going to continue to facilitate and get him the ball as many times as they can. He's a very efficient scorer. I think he gets at least 15 to 20 shots a night, and if you're getting 15 to 20 shots and all we need is 20 points, sign me up. Obviously, through 3 games, he shot 18 and 24 field goal attempts. So easily clearing that 15 plus field goal attempts in 2 of those 3 games. And Mikal, if he shoots above 15 times, great track record, scored 20 plus points in 20 of his last 25 games, hit this over in a lot of his most frequent games. And like I said, he's a very efficient shooter. Normally not a guy, knock on wood, that's going to go out there and shoot like 3 for 15. Normally a guy that's shooting around the 46 to 50%. Not a high volume 3-point shooter, more mid-ranges, getting to the rim in transition. Also shoots 89% from the free throw line. So if he gets there, normally knocks those down. He's facing the Bulls. They're in Chicago. Bulls, not a great defensive team. They got Patrick Williams, but outside of him, not a lot of good defenders out there. Mikal, obviously a guy that prides himself on playing every single night, being ready every single night. I'm not worried about an all-star break for him. He's one of the best players that the Nets have to offer, one of the better young players in the NBA. Give me Mikal Bridges, over 19.5 points. Like I said, you can play that at 20.5. Now, let's go to our under of the day. It's going to be Mr. LaMelo Ball. I like his under 24.5 points, minus 104 on Caesars. Now, guarantee this is going to drop to 23.5, and I really don't hope it doesn't happen. What happened yesterday for Jordan Clarkson, where he ends on 24 on the dot. Now, if maybe that happens, you can go to DraftKings and take like an all under 25.5 and maybe put like 6+ assists for Mr. LaMelo. I mean, LaMelo's going to get a lot of assists, but I just don't see him scoring a lot of points tonight, and I understand why. Now, we faded LaMelo once before. It was a no sweat bet. I think he ended with 16 points. That was when his line was 25.5. Today at 24.5 as him and the Hornets are on the road in Minnesota facing the Timberwolves. Now, if there's something about the Timberwolves, their defense doesn't travel. I don't know why, but it doesn't travel. And that's great for us because on the road, 22nd best defensive rating over the last 15 games. At home, where they are today, the 4th best defensive rating over the last 15 games. So they've been a much better defensive team at home, and I think that continues today as they likely will have Mike Conley in the starting lineup, Rudy Gobert back. But the biggest guy we like to see in the lineup, Jaden McDaniels. If you have no idea who Jaden McDaniels is, his brother plays for the Sixers, but he's, I'd argue, probably better than his brother. He's one of the best defenders in the league. If you look at all the defensive percentiles, Jaden McDaniels is at the top of them, 99th percentile, almost every single defensive metric. This guy that should be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. He's been great against opposing point guards and shooting guards. He's likely the guy that's going to go up and guard LaMelo. And if Anthony Edwards wants to go guard him, fine with me. And Ant-Man has been really good defending too. And we look at LaMelo. He's not an efficient scorer. This is not something he's not a guy that's going to go out there and shoot 60%. That's rarely what he does. And if he does, you chalk it up to the game tonight. You look at LaMelo shooting just 40.8% from the field this season, 36.5% from the three-point line. McDaniel's going to do a great job contesting shots. If he wants to drive to the rim, LaMelo, that is, Gobert's going to be waiting for him. So I think he's going to have to kick out to the shooters in the corner. And we look at LaMelo, still under this line in 16 of his last 25 games. 6 of the 9 games he went over at home. So he hasn't been as good on the road. And you've seen on the road, his points per game have dropped to 22.1, nearly 2.7 less than he does at home. Shooting splits, not very good either. On the road, 38.9% from the field, 34.8% from three. You look at 18 road games this year, under this line in 13 of 18 games. I do want to note, he landed on 24 points on the dot in 3 of those 18. So if you can get 24.5, whether you're paying a little bit more juice, I'd say go for it. But not only that, the Hornets are coming off 9 days of rest, so he could be a little rusty. And I don't question a lot of players, what they're doing during their All-Star break. LaMelo is a guy I don't necessarily trust that he was necessarily in all basketball shape, so he could come in here a little bit rusty, doesn't see his normal minutes, or just that he hasn't been practicing his jump shot a whole lot, and also on the year, averaging just 17.7 points per game on 3 or more days of rest. So we've seen him not play great off big rest periods when he's been injured and coming back. He hasn't played well in that first game. While he wasn't injured in this game, still, I just don't trust him tonight. LaMelo Ball also going to see Terry Rozier. He should be back today. Kelly Oubre Jr. also is projected back as well. And we knew Oubre Jr. never seen a shot he didn't like. So all those reasons combined, I'm fading LaMelo, taking his under 24.5 points. He's going to shoot the ball, but he's not an efficient scorer. Got a bad matchup against Jaden McDaniels or Anthony Edwards, and he's got a bunch of guys returning for him. This is the healthiest the Hornets roster has really been all year long, assuming Rozier and Oubre Jr. are out there. We'll ride with LaMelo's under. Now, my final play of the day will be a guy that's probably on the thumbnail, Mr. Trae Young, over 24.5 points, minus 120 on DraftKings. I'll talk about 2 leans in a quick second, but let's talk about Trae, though. I'd play him up to 25.5, and here's another play that FanDuel doesn't have lines for. If you're like, FanDuel didn't have lines for LaMelo or Trae, and you're watching this really early in the morning, which I appreciate for clicking on the notification, I don't really know why they don't have that. And you can take Trae's points plus assist line. I wouldn't call you crazy at 35.5 because we know Trae can go out there and score 20 points, 15 assists, and whatnot. But the Cavaliers, as I talked about yesterday, allowed the fewest assists per game in the NBA. Look, Jokic saw that stat and said, get the hell out of here. He did not care about that. He just went out there and dropped a triple-double, and it didn't matter because Jokic is the man, cashed all of his lines for us. But we think about this team. Capella might play a couple more minutes, but John Collins is out, and we know Capella obviously doesn't have the greatest track record of having to score in the paint against Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, and that's where a large majority of Trae's assists come from. So I think Trae's going to have to score a little bit more today, and Trae scored 25 points in 16 of his last 25 games. You look at 6 of the 9 games he went under, we're on the road. They're at home today in Atlanta. Now also, the Hawks, new head coach. Look, the Cavaliers, they'll be facing the Cavaliers as I talked about. They got a new head coach, Nate McMillan. Got canned, and while I don't necessarily think that was a great decision, it's widely known that Trae and Nate McMillan did not get along all too well. It would not surprise me if Trae gets traded this offseason. That wouldn't be crazy, but it's obviously widely known that he did not agree with Nate McMillan, and maybe that means, I don't know what that means behind the scenes, but I assume the Hawks are going to come out here and win this game. They're the 8th seed currently. They need these wins as much as anyone else in the NBA, and they got to come out here and play pretty well. Now, Trae, obviously, we know he can go out there and score 30 points on any given night, which is why I want this over. And he entered the break not with a great game, scored just 19 points on 4 of 14 shooting versus the Knicks. And hopefully this firing of a head coach gives this team a breath of fresh air, and maybe Trae comes out here and plays like the All-Star we've seen him. Obviously wasn't an All-Star this year. The All-Star we've seen him in the past. And Trae, if you just blindly look at the last 8 games he went under, and you just blindly bet the over the next game, you'd be 7-1. That's a crazy stat. You normally definitely a guy that bounces back, and I certainly think he can get us 25 points, even in a tough matchup versus the Cavaliers. He's played well against Cleveland, last 5 against them, 24, 35, 41, 30, and 25 points. So hitting the over in 4 of those 5 games, 4 straight to be exact, and ended on the hook on one of them. I know the Hawks got a couple guys off the bench, AJ Griffin, Bogdanovich, they're going to shoot the ball, but Trey can get to the free throw line, can get to his spots. All he has to do is shoot somewhat efficiently tonight, and I think he'll have enough attempts to get there. I'll take his over 24.5 points. I would not play it any higher than 25.5. Don't want 26.5. So go Ice Trey. We're counting on you. Take his over 24.5 points. Now, before I get out of here, 2 leans I did consider for the people that are watching this. What are we, 10 minutes, 30 seconds into the video? Tyler Hero's over in points was one I considered. Just a little bit skeptical. Victor Oladipo is back, so I'm going to monitor Mr. Hero. We'll see exactly how he plays. Not really too confident on him. And Daniel Gafford, I like his under in points. He was a lean last Thursday. My only concern here is Bradley Beal. If Beal plays, I like Gafford's under. If Beal doesn't play, I would avoid it. But those are just a couple leans. I appreciate you guys as always for supporting the channel. And look, if you want to sign up for Bet365 and you're in either Virginia, you're in Ohio, New Jersey, or Colorado, make sure you use our link at the top of the description and deposit just $10. Bet $1 on the money line of any NBA game, and you get $200 in bet credits to use. Take advantage of it. I know a lot of you guys have already done that, and I appreciate all the people that have done that out there. But my name's Austin. Let's bring out this puppy one more time. Let's go 3-0, make this a 7-0 run. I'll see you guys back again tomorrow morning. Have a great Friday night, and I'll see you guys then. Peace.